times are down, you know I'll be with you. Yeah, times are rough, this time I see it too. All this bullshit drama, I can see right through. Everybody wants something they can't have, so they gon' put it on you. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. Over the ocean, I can see us there. Let's run away and be forever young. We'll catch the sun where there's no need to run. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. 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 I see you, and you see me too. We may be broke, but we see the truth. All this bullshit drama, I can see right through. Everybody wants something they can't have, so they gon' put it on you. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. Over the ocean, I can see us there. Let's run away and be forever young. We'll catch the sun where there's no need to run. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. Yeah, you can take me there.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to EU Rise of the Summoners, featuring Team Wolves and Team Raptors. My name is Sir Potato the Ninth, and I'm joined here by Meowing Cat, and we are getting into pick bands.
Yeah, right along we are. So far, we have an interesting composition, as it took a long time to get us in here, but
Very sorry about the delays, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so far you got a Swain, Lulu, and Zaya banned away by Team Raptors. And Team Wolves are going to be banning away a Jana, Galio, Jarvan the Fourth. And all of these picks and bans were done previously in Pro Draft just to speed things along. So you're going to see everybody already picking in order. So that's just something that we can that we've been using to clear up any confusion if there is any. But anyways, you have Ornn versus Camille in the top lane. It's a pretty interesting matchup. Two lane bullies of different styles. One of them is, of course, very aggressive, and the other one can be as aggressive as he pleases because he's Ornn and he doesn't care. What you think of lane meta?
yeah, well, Ornn has seen quite a few nerfs for quite a while, and his priority has dropped a lot in top lane. His win rate has gone pretty far down. We're not seeing him really picked up too much more in competitive play. His ultimate still is very valuable, but he doesn't have nearly that same kind of pressure from all of his shielding and all of the damage that he can provide. Camille, however, has been seeing a lot of play, and she is definitely one of the strongest top laners in the game at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Has she been getting buffed recently, or has she gotten buffed recently?
I believe that it's a lot of just the top lane meta shifting around has helped her out, and I believe there was a patch in or some buffs in 8.4 or 8.3. I can't recall.
Mhm.
I don't recall. It wasn't this last patch, but I believe she was tweaked a little bit.
Yeah.
But all of the top lane tanks getting hit out means that her priority raises a lot, as well as Camille just having a really strong kit overall. I mean, her engage potential and her kit alone, just the CC, the gap closing that she provides, is extremely important.
Absolutely, and especially that ultimate, being able to single out a single player on the enemy team can be such a game-breaking ultimate and ability that hopefully Shihu will be able to utilize effectively and maybe even lead his team to victory just by doing that.
Yeah.
So, as far as team compositions, what are you thinking so far for Team Raptors on the blue side?
Yeah, so we see a bit of a different game plan from both sides. On the red side, or on the left side, blue team, we have Raptors, who they definitely have a very strong bot lane that they want to play through. With the double tanks on the top side of the map, the Ornn and the Sejuani, they're going to want to make sure that that bot lane, the lane bullies of Caitlyn and Zyra, the two longest range champions in their respective roles, are going to be able to bully out that lane. And so there's going to be a lot of focus on this bot side for Raptors.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Especially considering you have a Tristana and Alistar on the opposing side, which is also a very strong bottom lane that can snowball very effectively. So if they get a slight bit of a lead, then they can definitely continue to build upon that lead and extend that into towers, into dragons, barons, whatever they please. Because if you have a fed Tristana, then you're going to be in the driver's seat of the game for almost the entire game.
Yeah. Something I do want to touch on is with 8.5, Tristana's range was nerfed quite a bit in that early game. 25 range level 1. She does regain most of it by rank 18, but it definitely does mean that this Caitlyn is going to have an even larger range advantage for even longer in this game. And with
Yeah,
an Alistar as a
absolutely.
support, they can get bullied very heavily by the range advantage from the side of Raptors.
Hmm. So that just means that Haharus and Flower Dude just need to be playing extremely safe. Otherwise, they will get punished by Ems and Shenzhen, who have such excuse me, such far engaged tools. So if Haharus and Flower Dude position poorly at all, they could potentially get killed just like that. All right.
Yeah.
So, do you have any closing thoughts before we throw it over to some music?
I do want to see how Wolves utilizes their team composition because with Zach, Camille, and Anivia, they have a lot of pick potential, and they also have really good engage with the Alistar and Tristana to just jump in and follow up with everything. So they have the abilities to play aggressively, and if they can get a lead, they could definitely run over the side of Raptors with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They do have a lot of strong snowbally champions. But that being said, you also, or actually, both teams have very strong snowball teams. So this definitely seems like a game where both teams are going to be playing as carefully as possible. But once a team fight goes in favor of one team or another, then the whole game could spiral out of control. But anyways, while we're going to be waiting for the spectator delay to die down, we are going to throw it over to some music that you guys can enjoy, and we will be right back.
Started from a spark. I would spend it just to watch you twirl. It was us against the world. You were the rain falling on my skin. Yeah, I was dying when you pulled me in. I was your rebel and you were my girl. It was us against the world. Yeah, I'm pale gray, all dust and fade. When I call for you, all I hear back is pain. Every song must end, even diamonds fade. When the darkness comes, I count up my mistakes. We were the thunder and the lightning, burning fire started from the spark. I would stand in
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summoner's Rift for this match. This is the European West Rise of the Summoners Game 1 between Team Raptors and Team Wolves. My name is Serpay the Ninth, and I am joined here by Meowing Cat. Let's get into the introductions. On the blue side, you have Team Raptors with Premos on Ornn in the top lane, Vinka on Sejuani in the jungle. I am Kronos on Cassiopeia in the mid lane. Shenzhen on Caitlyn in the ADC position. Joining him will be Ems on Zyra in the support position.
Yeah, and on the red side, I should say, we have Team Wolves with Shiho on Camille in the top lane, Darth Jeebus on the Zac in the jungle, Pyranthos on the Anivia mid lane, Haha Ruse on the Tristana AD carry, and Flower Dude on the Alistar support.
Yeah, and I am very excited to see this game be underway. As we were mentioning earlier, we have two very high, goodness, the cowbell, two very high snowbally champions. Your two very high potential teams who, if they get snowballing, can snowball even further until the game is a complete and utter stomp, which I'm a big fan of watching. That being said, you're just seeing some classic lines of scrimmage and leashes, both junglers starting on the bottom side, getting those quick leashes, and then the bottom lanes will be heading into lane.
Yeah. Now, both top laners were immediately in lane, so both teams know where the junglers started if they're tracking them properly, and know that they're starting on their bottom side camps, moving up towards that top side. So these top laners need to make sure that they're properly playing around that and having their top side warded, or just playing safe in their lanes. If they disrespect, both junglers do have decent ganking power. Camille probably a little too hard to gank for that Ornn if he's not in a bad position. Zac providing a lot of CC, and then Camille providing a decent damage output might mean we can see a first blood on that Premos Ornn.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, because Ornn is such a low mobility champion, he's very susceptible to ganks if he's not positioning correctly. So it'll be up to Premos to be positioning correctly. However, we were talking earlier as well about how the inverse is true for Team Wolves' bottom lane. Haha Ruse and Flower Dude. They have a bit of mobility. They also very low range. So if Shenzhen and Ems can just stay back and poke Haha Ruse and Flower Dude out, they're gonna have a really tough time in lane.
Yeah. We do have to make sure that we keep an eye on the bot lane though, because
Darth Jeebus, Elastic Slingshot in the mid lane, landing on Pyranthos with the Flash Frost. First blood going over to Pyranthos in the mid lane.
Yeah, and both of these mid laners are some of the important, crucial members for this team composition, being the primary sources of burst damage. And so, well, Cassiopeia bursty sustain damage. She's kind of a weird champion, but a mid lane difference here is very important to keep an eye on. Both mid laners did miss a lot of CS, however, so the gold isn't too high in this mid lane, but that kill gold will help even things out for Pyranthos a little bit.
Yeah, already with a around 400 gold lead advantage, believe it or not, with first blood. And I know that it's not really what you immediately think of when you think of a carry mid lane, but Anivia can be terrifying with a kill advantage over the enemy mid laner. Once you can get the item advantage, then you have so much damage that you're able to output in such a short amount of time that if you catch the enemy squishies out, you can just one-shot them, and there's pretty much nothing they're able to do about it.
Yeah. And I mean, especially against Cassiopeia with her range disadvantage. Oh, watch the top lane here.
Yeah, you got Darth Jeebus coming in for the gank out of Premos, forcing the flash out, and he just flash dashes away into safety. That is a very important cooldown for a very immobile champion down. Now Shiho Darth Jeebus will have an exorbitant advantage over Primoz.
Yeah, and I mean, we mentioned this top lane is very gankable for the side of Wolves. Raptors top laner Primoz on that Ornn, a lot less mobility, and with that flash down is a prime gank target. So we have to really watch how he manages that wave, or that lane, and seeing how he plays around those minion waves.
Yeah. Right there you see Ems proving why that lane can be so successful. Getting the easy procs of Spell Thieves up on Flower Dude as he walks up and just tries to hit CS.
Yeah, and I do want to mention the support item changes. So a lot of gold has been taken away from the support position because of the bandit changes. And if you don't have an easy way to proc Spell Thieves, you are going to be suffering immensely due to that lack of gold generation. Coin users and Targon users can still get their, decent amounts of gold. But Spell Thieves users, you have to be able to constantly proc that Spell Thieves tribute.
Mm-hmm.
And Zyra is one of the best champions, especially into a melee support, where there's just some giant meat sack.
Ooh, I am Chronos getting caught out, forced to flash away from a very bad engage in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I did mention how Nivea does abuse Cassiopeia very much, correct?
You did not.
Okay,
Moment
well,
over that.
I was planning on it because it is just a horrible matchup for the Cassiopeia if she's behind. With no kind of mobility to jump over that Anivia wall, she can just keep her stuck in there, and the Cassiopeia, she either needs to be strong enough to turn it around, or she's just gonna get destroyed by this Anivia.
And right now, I am Chronos is already in a disadvantageous position, so he's definitely not going to be strong enough to turn any of Paranthos' engages away.
Yeah. Now,
Love that back animation.
the first Drake is an Infernal Drake, so both teams are definitely going to want to put a lot of priority in the spot lane. So if we see too many top lane ganks for either top laner, when the enemy top laner isn't, or sorry, the enemy jungler isn't up there. Oh, I'm just going everywhere today. If one jungler ganks the top side, but there's an enemy jungler on the bottom side, that might mean they're conceding an Infernal Drake, and that's really bad because Infernal Drake, pretty valuable.
I think that might be an understatement. Oh, Vinka actually taking the Rift Scuttler away from Darth Jeebus after a bit of an engage in the bit of a skirmish over the scuttle in the top side. That's what I like to see. Little just exchanging hellos in the jungle.
Yeah. I do want to draw some attention back towards the mid lane because this CS differential, 48 CS to 35, both of them are actually pretty low, but the Cassiopeia is down 30 CS of her teammate and, the ADCs. While Anivia, she did have to take some mediocre backs. This Cassiopeia is 19k gold compared to the 26 of the Anivia, the 27 of the Tristana. She's very far behind right now.
Yeah, Paranthos has done an excellent job of not only zoning Chronos off of CS, but also doing everything else that he can to be managing and extending his lead on him. Everything just by slow pushing the waves. Oh, hold that there. Darth Jeebus charging up Elastic Slingshot in the bottom lane, taking it, not finding his pocket onto Shenzhen. The ultimate coming out from Ems, and now the Flower Dude in a terrible spot, has to flash out, but still gets taken out. Now Haharu's in a doubly terrible position, double kill, going over to Ems as a plant. Take out the bottom lane of Team Wolves.
Yeah, and this is great for Raptors because they need to play through their bottom lane. With that now happening, this also opens up the Infernal Drake for their bottom side, especially since Vinka was in the proper position to follow up on it. So now we do have an early Infernal Drake started up. It should be pretty easy to secure. Vinka is dropping a little bit low though, so he's gonna have to watch his health bar. Maybe he needs someone to tank it. Someone help the Sejuani, wait a minute! Okay.
You have to smite early. Yeah, you see him smiting early. And then the dragon.
A little close.
Yeah, very, very close. He's walking away with 50 health. That's usually not the ideal health.
Ems is stuck.
Uh-oh, Ems trying to get away from Paranthos and Darth Jeebus, but he gets a splash red. And then Darth Jeebus ending up taking the credit for the kill.
Yeah, I think Ems was looking to flash the wall there. Instead, flash a very short distance, slightly to the left, and still gets hit by the Zac E, and then Anivia finishes it off, or helps finish it off. And that is not horrible. It does help recuperate some of that gold loss. Or, sorry, the gold value lost to the enemy team getting an Infernal Drake. But maybe with that mid-jungle lead, through the Anivia and the Zac, Wolves can still kind of get some early game pressure.
Yeah, Wolves still boasting a 1,000 gold advantage over Team Raptors just through the CS leads in mid lane, as well as that early first blood kill. So things, even though they've lost the Infernal Dragons, still don't look hopeless for Team Wolves. Far from it.
Yeah. Things look like they are gonna take a bit of a turn in top lane.
Top lane. Yeah, you got Shihu and Darth Jeeves with the 2v2 onto the top of jungler. Oh, the Glacial Prison going wide. Darth Jeeves picking up Vinka and looking for more Premos, flashing away, and that's gonna be the end of that engage in the top lane. Oh, that is not what you want to be seeing. Oh, but Shihu going back in after Premos overextends. He dashes out, but Darth Jeeves whacks him back in. The elastic slingshot going to connect, and Shihu taking a kill onto Premos in the top lane. And he's dabbing on him right after, too.
And this is what we need to see from Darth Jeeves. He's snowballing his top side of the map. The bot side is not looking great for them, but, you know, Haha Ruse and Flower Dude, they're just like, okay, we're going to take a step back, we're going to take a breather, and let our top side do the work, because they are doing work right now. There is a 2k gold lead for Wolves, and that is just completely on the top side in 3 CS for, you know, from the Zac engages, helping his solo laners a lot.
This is definitely one of the games where one of the most important skills in League of Legends comes through. It's not actually farming, it's not calling shots, it's just staying back and letting your team carry you. With the engage coming through from Flower Dude doing the opposite, forcing the flash out of Shenzhen. Flash available, Shenzhen flashing in the buster shot, not actually going to be taking it, and Shenzhen walks away alive, but without any summoner spells.
Yeah, and I mean, that's perfectly fine. They know where everybody is. There's no one that can punish them. Ornn doesn't have TP. Sejuani's on the top side of the map. She just came back up not too long ago. So they had a little period of time where they were actually safe to do something like that. And with that misstep, and Flower Dude and Haha Ruse playing correctly, they buy a little bit of pressure back with Caitlyn blowing some, as well as Zyra blowing that exhaust. Yeah,
that's just very smart play. And it seems like they're trying to make me bite my words. And instead of carrying or getting carried by the team, they said, no, we want to carry ourselves. But in mid lane, I am Kronos in a very bad position, getting a tiny bit of the fraction of the damage that that Aranthos laid down on him.
Yeah, that Anivia Q did not connect, but if it did, that would have just been absolutely horrible for Kronos. He does have the cleanse, but that extra burst damage would have dropped him to about 20% HP, and that would have just meant instant back and losing even more CS.
Yeah.
So a little bit lucky there that Q wasn't properly hit and reactivated.
I definitely agree. And Branthos, even still now, still has a 33 CS lead over I Am Kronos. That's so significant. The amount of gold that he has over him, that's a 1,300 gold lead. That's a Rabadon, not a Rabadon's, goodness. That's a needlessly large rod. That's so much AP and so much damage that Kronos is missing out on right now.
Yeah, Kronos is just in a bit of a sticky situation here. He does have the tier starting to stack, so that is going to help him get to his item sooner, but Paranthos is in such a nice spot with that Roa already stacking up that Kronos just has to kind of hope that they can get something while Darth Jeeves is occupied somewhere else on the map.
Yeah, Shiho on the top side, going for a bit of a wet noodle fight. He's not going to get that much damage down. So we've been talking so much about what Team Wolves are doing so well, but what do you think Team Raptors could be improving on right now? And what could get them back in the game?
Yeah, well, Vinka has been kind of not been getting too much pressure so far. Not really been getting much value out of the Sejuani. She is farming pretty well compared to the Zac, but the Zac, due to that kill and assist gold, is almost a full 1k gold lead up.
Oh, Shiho using the ultimate in the top lane, call the forecheck coming through. The shields are immense. The tower is doing the damage, and the Premos getting killed, but Meanwhile, Paranthos getting another kill onto Kronos in the jungle, a little bit off screen. That was
Yeah.
interesting.
Darth Jeebus blew everything apparently there, as we didn't see it.
Yeah,
to
and now
get
he's
Darth
flowing
and
a bit
Kronos.
more. The last slingshot onto Vinka, the stun connects, forcing the flash out of Vinka. This tower is dangerously low. I don't think Vinka, Vinka did not have what it takes to defend it. Now, Team Wolves taking the first turret. Now, Haha Ruse stepping way too forward and getting punished severely for it. Shenzhen reminding him who has the range advantage in this matchup.
Oh, watch this bot lane room. Darth Jeebus and Pyranthos. They're gonna step over a pink ward, but it doesn't matter. They're too far forward. Watch out for
Shenzhen and
Raptors.
Bim's in a terrible spot. Flower Dude just walking forward. Elastic Slingshot finding his mark. Now the flash from Ems. Teleport's coming through from Primos, but Shenzhen gets taken out. The damage is trying to go through from Ems. And now there's the wall. Ems in a terrible position. Trying to run away as fast as he can. The ultimate coming out for Pyranthos once again. And then the pause right in the middle of the fight.
Just what we like to see. Perfect pause.
You know what they say, wouldn't be a learning fives game without a couple pauses.
Yeah, it gives us some time to break down what happened in the middle of this fight as it is still ongoing. But Primo's TPing in there without the ultimate means that he should not be able to get anything here, really. He might be able to, however, buy a bit of time, and with Vinka and I Am Kronos moving down, if health bars get a little bit too low, if they play a little too risky to get the kill onto Primos, we might see some turn potential here, so we have to keep a close eye out how everything is kind of played mechanically. Every little micro thing here will matter. And there is a Cloud Drake up with the buffed Cloud Drake, I should mention. A little bit more movement speed in combat as well makes it definitely more appealing. So there's some value to it now.
The game is being unpaused. Darth Jeebus, I believe, still, oh yeah, he's still alive. And now he's looking for blood as Primos is still very far forward. He's getting slapped around and ultimately getting taken out by Darth Jeebus.
Yeah, now 4 members left up. They're looking for a 4v2.
Vinka, what are you doing? Kronos and Vinka going for the engage, and now Kronos is going to be the target. Oh, Darth Jeebus, everybody's laying down the damage. Kronos getting down a bit of CC, but it's not going to be enough. Flower Dude and Haharu's cleaned up, and now in the top lane, the turret gets taken down by Shi-Ho. And now it seems like in the bottom lane, this turret's going to be falling as well.
Yeah, Pyranthos soloing the Drake too, a little bit low on health, although the Roa will help sustain him up. He does look like he's about to run out of mana though. You're gonna see an execute here, please don't tell me. He has egg, right? Yeah.
Agnivia is alive and well, and Cloud Dragon trying to make an omelet out of him yet, but Pyranthos has the health. He's going to be banging on his bongos and backing safety.
Yeah. Now, that was just horrible for the side of Raptors, but works so well for Wolves. As I mentioned, Primos, he still was alive, full health on that Ornn, not too squishy, obviously not super tanky at this stage in the game, 15 minutes in, but if he could buy some more time and maybe make some people, you know, commit a little too hard under that bot lane tower that was still up before, they might have been able to potentially get a turnaround with that Anivia and Cassiopeia, and that looks like what they wanted to do. But Primos just got obliterated, everything connected on him, he wasn't able to move and just died, and then they still went for a 2v4 when there were at most half health targets, or at least half health targets left on the side of Wolves. And so Raptors mid and jungle just went in and died, and that's just giving over more.
Yeah, that was a very, very disjointed engage by Team Raptors. And they end up getting punished for it. Speaking of disjointed, Vinka very far out of position, trying to get a dash away, but it's still not enough. Vinka getting solo killed for just walking to Rift Herald.
Yeah, and I mean, now another kill going over. It looks like another objective is going to go over. The only thing they have to their name is
not
an
without
Inferno
a fight.
Bit.
Branthos laying down some damage and cover fire while Team Raptors are walking up, but they don't have the pressure, and the Rift Herald just gets taken down. But meanwhile, you have Shi-Ho in the bottom lane just whacking away, getting these minions down, and now eventually getting onto the tower.
Yeah.
Elastic slingshot from Darth Jeebus is going to connect onto I Am Kronos. Cleanse comes through, but Haha-Rus has the damage. Shenz is on the backside trying to dash away. Gets some damage down. Haha-Rus laying down the damage, jumping out. Now flashing in his Paranthos, getting the ultimate down. The Elastic slingshot not connecting. M's laying down his ultimate before he gets taken out the tower, laying down damage. Paranthos walking away, and now the fight seems to be winding down. And now Primoz and Shenzhen are the sole members of their team left to defend this mid lane tower. Now the Elastic Slingshot going to connect, and Darth Jeeves unstoppable, getting 1 kill, and looking for another onto Primoz, getting the shield, but Haha-Rus takes the credit for the kill.
Yeah, and that is just unfortunate for the side of Raptors. They tried
This
so
could be
hard
the
with
end of
that
the
fight.
game.
I don't know if they're gonna end here, although Kronos dying here looks like it.
They're certainly trying.
Looks like he's gonna be able to slither away, but that is just so unfortunate. They looked like they had an okay fight, and that was honestly their best chance to get back in this game. But before this fight, there's
Elastic
already
Slingshot now. Primoz getting taken down, or M's getting taken down. Primoz with 5 seconds alive in the Glacial Prison. Such an important disengage tool from Binka has been blown, and now Team Wolves are backing off.
Yeah, and I mean, Wolves, they just went in, they took an iffy looking fight, but they're just so strong. Before this fight even started, Shihao canceling.
Yeah,
cancels with the
Binka
recall.
in a
But
bad
Binka might not want to
spot.
take this.
Now Kronos trying to join him, but damage from Paranthos. The wall actually knocking him away. Ace in the knocking Paranthos into Egnivia, but Shiho does end up taking out Binka, and now the damage from both sides is coming through. Double kill for Shiho. Kronos stunned up, and he gets taken out by Shiho too. I believe that's a triple kill. Now Primoz, let's bounce, says Darth Jeebus, and bounce he does. Primoz trying to get away, but he's getting knocked up, slapped around, and beaten down. Darth Jeebus taking the kill for taking the credit for the kill. Now Ems is a sole member of Team Raptors, and Team Wolves are rotating to this tier 2 top tower.
Yeah, and Darth Jeebus, I mean, with full tank items, just has such an immense level advantage and so much HP already that he just doesn't care. With Warmogs already and Cinderhulk, however, with the 2 items that were nerfed this patch, it doesn't mean that it means that he will not get the HP regen until he gets 3k HP, which he is just 100 shy of. So that does mean that Darth Jeebus has to play a little bit slower until he can get his next back off, which he's sitting on 2.7k gold. He's going to be able to get that 100 HP on this recall.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, he will have his Wormogs activated, which means that he can just jump around going crazy. When he's at 1 HP, just walks away, and then just regens back to full 10 seconds later.
You know, I want to point out the builds by the ADCs. I think their Zeal items should be swapped. I think Haha-Rus is he's on Tristana, a champion with very little range. Needs that rapid fire cannon to be able to stay back a bit further. And now Shenzhen is basically the sole clearing for CS of his team. So what he needs is some more damage on multiple minions. Let's say, I don't know, Static Shiv. That would benefit him immensely, giving him more wave clear, and allowing him to clear out these minion waves much faster.
Well, I think that Haha-Rus, with the range nerf for Tristana, and looking into these compositions, the extra range from Rapid Fire isn't really that important, as it might give him 1 auto, yes, but he really is looking to just burst targets down. With the Anivia, Zac, and Camille, they're really just playing to just blow somebody up, and so that Static Shiv is really going to help Tristana with that. Plus, it makes your wave clear really, really good.
Oh, wow. Speaking of Haha-Rus, the flash gets forced out of him as the Baron minions are trying to spook off Team Raptors. But
It wasn't
Kronos
forced
called
out
him
of him. I don't know if
actually, you're
Spectator
right.
Client saw it. He used it more to just swag on I Am Kronos. It was kind of, you know that old video with the Rise who just flash jukes to Ezreal Q? He just stands still and then just pops flash slightly to the side? That's kind of what we just saw there. Just flashing slightly away from the Cassiopeia Q and no real risk. Just to just put the pain on I Am Kronos.
The BM flash coming through from Haha-Rus. He knows that he can. The Elastic Slingshot being cancelled by Darth Jeebus. Now this is a very tough position for Team Raptors. Minions pouring in from both sides of the base and from the mid lane. This is an excellent team, or what they're doing, what Team Wolves is doing right now is very, very good. They're able to siege from 2 sides of the map, and now the engage is going in. Now Shiho using ultimate, Binka getting taken down by Shiho. The ultimate coming through from Ems, knocking him up, but Shiho has so much damage. Double kill. Now Pramos looks to be his third target, flashing away, but Shiho himself gets taken down by Shenyan. And now Haruz is his sole, not sole member. Far from it, Barantha's coming in, dominating. Double kill for him, and now Haruz coming in and getting a couple kills of his own and getting the ace onto Team Raptors. And Team Wolves, with the Baron empowered minions pouring into the base, are going to be looking to close this game out.
Yeah, it looks like that will be the only game for these two teams, as it is a best of 1, and that is going to be Team Wolves taking the game, taking the victory, and taking the championship for this series, or for this match.
Yeah, and what a dominant performance that was. They get the lead in the top side of the map, and they just they get the leads all over the map, other than it wasn't the top side of the map. And they're able to expand on that and lead that into leads all over the map, and they end up just destroying Team Raptors with a 19 kill advantage. What a bizarre game.
Yeah, really dominant game. Darth Jeebus has to be the MVP for that game. I mean, Zach was just everywhere, snowballing every lane. He got the top side fed, and then he's like, all right, now the top side is just ridiculously fed. I'm going to go to the bottom side and get them ridiculously fed too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I usually ask, what could the team that lost have done better? But really, in this situation, it just seemed like they were positioning poorly. They weren't communicating. They're engaged well enough. And they just got punished so well by Team Wolves every single time. And that's ultimately what led to them losing the game.
Yeah. But with that, we should be getting ready to get into our second game, where we have Sentinels versus Brambleback.
Yeah, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with another game coming in soon for our EU Rise of the Summoners. So, ladies and gentlemen, music and get our next lobby set up, so stick around.
So much time unfold, and I try to make it back in this raging sea, 'cause I'm way too deep, 'cause I'm way too deep. She's the type of girl to treat a Tuesday night like a Friday. What's that in a cup? She don't really know, but it's working. High off these pills, 6-inch heels and attention. She might want the world, but she might need an intervention. Hey, I ain't really trying to judge you. Low-key, girl, I'm cheering for you. Now show 'em how to break the rules. So put on a little perfume. Tell your girls you're running late. Don't forget about your new shoes. You know the ones that work your leg. Ain't a man alive can stop you now. You're a highlight girl. Oh, highlight girl. To you the game is easy. Live fast, die young, speak freely. Don't let them think you're needy. Don't fuck first night, ideally, no. Look at her go. Almost done crossing off your checklist. Pulling up slow. Presidential suite out in Vegas. Oh, I ain't really trying to judge you. Yeah. Low-key, girl, I'm cheering for you. Now show 'em how to break the rules. So put on a little perfume. Tell your girls you're running late. Don't forget about your new shoes. You know the ones that work your leg. Ain't a man alive can stop you now. Highlight girl, highlight girl. You don't want a lifeline, no. You just want a white line. You're only spending time if it's the time of your lifetime. Yeah, I bet you never seen a spotlight that you don't like. Yeah, so gonna show me why you the queen of the nightlife. Oh, you're my highlight girl. So put on a little perfume. Tell you girls you're running late. Don't forget about your new shoes. You know the ones that work your leg. Ain't a man alive can stop you now. Highlight girl, highlight force.
ladies and welcome to the second Rise of the Summoners match of the day for EU West, featuring Team Sentinel versus Team Brambleback. My name is Sir Potato the Ninth, joined by Meowing Cat, and we are getting into pick bands.
Yeah, and both of these teams looking a bit interesting on both sides. I'm definitely very excited for this match, though. This looks to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And as we previously stated, everything is done in Pro Draft before pick bands is done. So we already know the outcomes of pick bands. And the teams are very interesting.
We'll see very, very soon. Wait until these bands get through. Some of the first few picks up in this top lane. I think it's gonna be a really exciting matchup.
Yeah, regardless of what you think about the champions themselves or their position in the meta, they're definitely champions that are a pleasure to watch. And here you go. British Blaze locking in the Urgot.
That
And
is all you have to say. Locking in the Urgot. And then Milo Cooter on the Kled. This is such an interesting matchup where we have two people who are kind of tanky but also deal a lot of damage. And so I don't have much experience in this matchup, and it's not been that meta. Neither champion has really been seen at the same time in any metas, really. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this top lane matchup.
Absolutely. Both of these champions are, I believe they're called, there's a word for it. They're grapplers. They want to be getting in there, getting their damage out, and they have pretty substantial CC that they're able to lay down, and some pretty good damage too if you let them whack at you long enough. But we are completing the second round of bans. So we got the Urgot, the Warwick, and the Orianna for Team Sentinel versus the Kled, Sejuani, and Victor. The Victor for Team Brambleback. And Victor is a very hit or miss champion. If you're good at Victor, then you're going to be godlike. But if you don't have enough time on the champion, then you're just going to be demolished every single time.
Yeah, we really do have to see how this Victor will pan out. With the Sejuani in the jungle, there is a very decent gank opportunity onto Amy-kun on the Orianna. You know, with the Glacial Prison from the Sejuani, Victor then can put down his W, and so you can just really lock down a target for a very long time with a very big CC chain. We do see Orianna hovering the cleanse, so obviously a very good response to that. But there's a cooldown on the cleanse, and there's a lot of CC. Even if Sejuani hits the ulti, you know, and you cleanse that, she still has her E, her W, you know, her knock-up on her Q to follow up. So even with the cleanse, you might still die.
Yeah, it really seems like Team Sentinel is drafted to protect the ADC composition. We have the Orianna who can lay down the shields. But really, Orianna is the only other source of damage. Warwick kind of has some damage. But Urgot and Alistar are going to be building almost straight tank, if not supporting items. So they're really putting all of their eggs into the same basket with Niter Shadow on Tristana.
Yeah, and so since we don't have too many EU games, last game was our silver matchup. This is our gold matchup. So this game is going to be a bit higher in quality, and we should see a bit higher level of execution, which shouldn't make it as one-sided as the last game. But something that makes me want to take it back is that top lane matchup. I feel like either of these top laners could really run away with this game.
Yeah, for sure. Urgot and Kled, they can get a pretty significant CS lead if they're zoning off the enemy well enough. However, I don't really think that they're going to be the primary focus of the game. They're not really going to be carrying the game at all. It would be very, very difficult for them
Urgot
to
to carry the game would be a bit harder, but I think Kled with a lead could definitely make his team, you know, follow him up. He dives in, just deals half health to someone, and then his team just finishes the job. We could see the Kled go pretty intense, but with the bot lane matchup, there is a very large carry potential for the side of Niter Shadow and FTF Noob. If they can get a lead, they're gonna be very hard to deal with. But the poke from Ezreal plus the finishing from Wirus on the Thresh might be enough to deal with that. Everything is really up in the air. There's no real sort of this team's better, this team's worse. There's strengths to each composition, and there's better lanes for. There's some decent matchups for some laners, but overall, it looks to be a very even game.
Yeah, absolutely. Neither of these teams already have the significant lead over the enemy team. So, of course, on Team Sentinel, you have to protect the ADC composition. But really, on Team Brambleback, to me, it seems like they have a lot of engage with the Kled, the Sejuani, the Thresh. And they have the damage to follow through with the Victor and the Ezreal. So pretty much what we're going to be seeing is a whole lot of engage and a whole lot of counter engage. So it'll be very tough or it'll be very interesting to see if Team Sentinel are able to keep up their shields and protect their carry.
Yeah. And I mean, I really do want to see how these teams are going to be able to play around all that kind of pick potential, and if their ADCs are going to be able to play around it. I mean, with a Thresh, if you get hooked in Tristana, you're not going to be in a very fun environment.
Yeah, absolutely. But I believe as we were waiting for the spectator delay to die down, we're going to throw it over to some music. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy our jams, and we will be right back.
Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summoner's Rift for the EU West Rise of the Summoners match featuring Team Sentinel and Team Brambleback. My name is Serpentine of the Ninth, and I am joined here by Meowing Cat. Let's get right into the introductions. On Team Sentinel, you have British Blaze on Urgot in the top lane, Decode Talker on Warwick in the jungle, Amy Con XX on Oriana in the mid lane, Niter Shadow on Tristana in the ADC position, and FTF Noobs on Alistar in the support position.
Yeah, and on the red side, we have Team
Oh, the engage! FTF Noobs walking up, Fun Run, spotting him out. The auto attack goes through, flash forward from FTF Noobs, getting the knockup, and now the damage just not there. Neither. And all of Team Sentinels just back off. Oh my goodness! Oh no!
Well, that is an Alistar flash.
That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I can't say that that's unfortunate considering that was all well in his control. That was just suboptimal flash.
yeah, no real follow-up CC. Alistar the only one with hard CC, and when he flashes forward, no one's really in range to damage to follow up, so they're just gonna scurry off, go back to their own lanes, and Alistar not having Ignite or Flash does make it a considerably harder laning phase for this bot lane of Sentinels, but the Hex Flash will mean that he can still potentially get some engages onto the bot lane of Brambleback.
Yeah, I was about to say, my theory is that he intentionally flashed there just so he could be using Hex Flash as much as he likes.
I mean, you
seemed to really
Flash is
enjoy
always
spamming
better
it.
than Hex Flash, but at that point, when you have Hex Flash, your ADC can't flame you for just flashing forward.
Yeah, it might be it. But anyways, in the bottom lane, Alfari is just trying to stay back, looking for Q procs, for Kleptomancy. Nothing really shocking happening there. 2 melee supports though, well, kind of melee supports. Oh wow, FTF Noobs hitting level 2, walking up, getting the damage down onto Alfarius, but Wirus not actually turning it. I think his ability was down, and FTF Noobs called him out for it.
Yeah, a lot of dueling this
Milo
top lane.
Cooter. Yeah, and
Yeah.
now you see Decode Talker walking up. The Blood Hunt is on, and he smells it for Milo Cooter has flash away, but the flashes are there from Decode Talker Blitz Praise, and he's going to be taking first blood.
Yeah, and we mentioned how this top lane is just going to be a slugfest, and a kill going over to that Urgot is definitely very important. That means that Kled is going to be a little bit further behind. The wave, however, was not shoved out by Decode Talker, so now this is just an awkward laning position for British Blaze, and he's going to back where it's a position that Milo Cooter can freeze this or just CC freely. I mean, it is in Milo Cooter's control again, and that makes it a lot more awkward for this Urgot, who might just have to TP back to lane immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's what's
you see him
happening.
doing that. And I don't think that kill on British Blaze is so much of a benefit to the Urgot, so much as really it
pain
really
for the Kled.
hurts. Yeah, it really hurts the Kled. It puts him in a terrible position. When you're on Kled, you do not want to be falling behind, especially as early as 3 minutes.
Yeah. So with that, we might see some attention from I'm Just Misty to make sure that British Blaze doesn't get out of control, and then Milo Cooter can maybe kind of get back into this game a little bit more so. I mean,
like the damage coming out from Amy Khan in the mid lane.
yeah.
Chunking down Fun Run. You know, I'm not too familiar with Victor play, so can you care to explain why he's taking
The fleet footwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. It basically it just benefits Victor's playstyle. He's a very kind of hit and run kite champion. He plays around rotations. He wants to weave in and out of fights. And so normally you see him build a lot of CDR. He goes for the lucidity boots, right? He kind of wants to just run in, whack someone with Q, auto E, and then run out. And then as soon as his Q and E are back up, he runs back in. And he does auto attack a lot because his Q, second part of it, enhances his auto attack.
You know, in this top lane, Milo Cooter doing exactly what you should not be doing with an Urgot, letting him kite around you and get all of the procs onto his passive.
Yeah. Urgot is running the Arcane Comment too, so it's going to be a lot of poke if he can land those Qs. While Milo Cooter has to go in for those grass procs, and so it's really dependent on, is that Q connecting? Because if it is, British Blaze will just tear apart that Kled.
Absolutely. Now we're back into a bit of a neutral state, but already you have Decode Talker. Yeah, taking the dragon. I'm Just Misty walking down, potentially going to spot him out. But the dragon gets taken, giving a lot of out-of-combat regeneration. Now Milo Cooter in a bad spot, Kled returning, or Kiskawa returning to the fight, and immediately backing up. British Blaze looking for the kill, so low, but he gets the kill anyways. 2-0 lead for Urgot in this Urgot versus Kled matchup. Kled is falling further and further behind, and that is exactly what you do not want to be seeing from Kled.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why I was saying this is going to be a very close matchup, and that was extremely close. Imagine if British Blaze didn't
gank
have
in the bottom lane. I'm Just Misty coming in, looking for FTF Noobs, who does have flash available now. He gets the stun onto Wirus, now he flashes out. Good gank from I'm Just Misty, getting the flash out of FTF Noobs, but as we've already seen, he doesn't seem to be too conservative with the usage of it. Now Fun Run looking for Amy Kun in the mid lane. The ultimate is going to be proccing, and now Amy Kun saving command Shockwave, but now burning it. The heal coming through from Fun Run, damage there. Now Alfarius getting the exhaust on Niter Shadow. I'm Just Misty still there, forcing flash heal out of Niter Shadow, and now FTF Noob's in a bad spot. But FTF Noob's actually gets taken out by I Am Alfarius, or the other way around, and now FTF Noob's still alive, looking for more of an engage. You have Deco Talker walking up. I'm just Misty getting knocked around by FTF Noobs, and Niner Shadow picking himself up a kill onto I'm just Misty.
Yeah, and that was just a complete turnaround. Now this bot lane from Sentinels have a considerable lead over Brambleback, and that's not good at all. I mean, they want to be able to be in a decent spot so that Ezreal can poke down this Tristana, Thresh can make engages. Now they have to be very careful because with a fed Tristana, she can just jump in and destroy your face. And Thresh does not have any kind of mobility, any kind of self-peel really. You know, he does have CC, but it's mostly used offensively. He can help protect his AD carry, but that's not where you want to be in a position with Thresh. Now I'm Alfarius is basically just have to 1v2 lane while Wyrus just sits back and kind of just plays, here's a lantern.
Yeah, Wyrus is definitely in a bad spot. His goal has single-handedly turned from looking for the hard engages to getting the peel with Flay and getting any engage from Decode Talk, the British Blaze, FTF Noobs, just blocking those from Alfarius. Which really isn't great for Thresh. He prefers to be getting in there, hitting his death sentences, and getting the combos for his teams to set up the kills.
Yeah, and as soon as that ignite from FTF Noobs comes back up, we do need to pay more attention in that bot lane because that is a lot of
X Flash coming through and the combo not going through. Wyrus doing a great job predicting the combo, keeping Alfarius safe.
Yeah. Wyrus with the Thresh Flay can definitely play pretty well against FTF Noobs, but there's no real kill pressure here anymore. So it is all on Wyrus to play properly, and him playing properly means them not losing. Him playing well is them not losing, right? If they misplay, they just lose.
Ultimate by Fun Run in the mid lane. Amy Kun running away, taking a bunch of damage, but ultimately still alive. Now the ultimate coming through from Amy Kun. The ultimate going through Decode Talker as well, and Fun Run gets taken out. Now in the top lane, you got a bit of an engage. Oh, actually in the mid lane, I'm just Misty tossing Glacial Prison, but it misses. He's still going forward into the tower. Decode Talker taking the kill.
Yeah, and this game is just a slugfest. Teams are just tossing, it is a slugfest again, but it is all going in favor of Sentinel. And
yeah, I'm looking for more
lane.
Decode Talker, forcing the flash out of Milo Cooper, but it's not enough. British Blaze on a killing spree on this Urgot.
Yeah, and I mean, this is exactly what you did not want to have happen as Brambleback, is from behind, you know, the Warwick can just run you down, but he doesn't do nearly as much from behind. You know, his team can follow him up if he's behind, and you know, he can just ulti them, right? Be an ulti bot as a Kled. Just build tank. Here's some movement speed, team. Now go kill them. But when you're this far behind, you can't just run in there as Kled. Your team is just gonna die.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just Kled in general. You cannot be falling behind. Kled is one of the champions in League of Legends who, once you start falling behind to the other enemy champion, you're just going to be useless for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, now you really have to think, what are your win conditions, right? At this point, Urgot is very fed. Warwick is very fed. You're going to want to avoid those members. And so you need to make sure you have good vision control of Decode Talker, which, if we look at the minimap, there are hardly any wards at all from the side of Brambleback. So that's going to be really hard. And they need to assess, where is Decode Talker? And as soon as they figure out where he is, can we make a play somewhere else on the map? And I mean, it is possible that if Decode Talker is in that top side, focusing Milo Cooter too much, that they might be able to get a lead in the bot lane. Although, if they engage onto... Oh, no.
Oh, wait, Amy Kun getting a kill onto Fun Run, the teleport coming through, but it actually got canceled. That's not what you want to be seeing, and now you have 4 members of Team Sentinel in the bottom lane, looking for a dive onto Alfarius and Wyrus.
Yeah.
Or maybe just taking the tower, the True Shot Barrage. True Shot Barrage coming out. Alfarius clearing a bit of the CS, but now the members of Team Sentinel are actually just walking towards the Infernal Drake. I'm just Misty, does not have Smite available. Decode Talker, very efficient taking those dragons.
Yeah,
DPS
Warwick loves to do it.
Starting to rise.
Warwick can take these drakes so easily. With his passive, I mean, he did solo the Cloud Drake or sorry, the Ocean Drake earlier, and now second Drake of the game, Infernal Drake, means that
FTF noobs looking for the engage, getting the knockup on Iris and Alpharius. Niter Shadow keeps going. Wirus hitting the death sentence. The box is coming out, and now FTF noobs tanking the front shot. The exhaust comes here. Decode Talker is here and available. Does not have infinite rise. Excuse me. But he ultimately decided just to back off. But now Alpharius and Wirus are backing, so it seems like Niter Shadow and FTF noobs going to be putting so much pressure onto this tower, probably even going to take it.
Yeah, and it looks to be the second tower for their team. I mean, this gold lead is now about to become, what, about 7 or 6.5k gold lead? That is a pretty big difference in gold, and they have complete...
the Glacial Prison into mid lane, Amicon cleansing, flashing out, ultimate from him, going to connect onto Fun Run, but now he's on the run for his life. British Blaze walking down. Does have his ultimate available now. I'm just missing getting to W, stacking up his passive. Decode Talker running up, getting infinite duress onto him. I'm just trying to get out of there. Does that flash available? Gets taken out before he can. Now Niter Shadow jumping forward, very aggressive. Wirus not punishing properly. I think he could have hit a play or a hook, but regardless, hitting the hook now and taking it, going for the play. And now Kled charging in, but Decode Talker on a killing spree with the Warwick. Very deep as FTF noobs taking the tower. Fun Run onto a run, but does not run away fast enough because Decode Talker gets the double kill. And now Milo Cooter getting a return kill onto FTF noobs. Milo Cooter trying to run away, but he gets taken out by British Blaze once again.
Yeah, and I was saying I don't see any real distinct leads in either team composition, but this snowball from Bramble or Sentinel is just so large. It does look to be a really hard turnaround and really hard comeback from Bramble. They are on the board though. Milo Cooter did get a kill there, so it's got to be something at least. You know, they have something to hold on to in their hearts.
GG report FTF noobs for inting.
that does really feel bad though. I mean, they're in such a sticky situation. Down already about 8,000 gold right now. The gold lead is just widening at this point. They don't really have anything that they can do because of this complete map pressure. I mean, if we look at the vision control too, there's pretty decent word line set up for the side.
They have great defensive
Sentinel.
vision. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just offensive vision though. They don't have very good deep vision, but they definitely have adequate entrance vision, right? They have vision in the enemy jungle, and they look like they're moving their ward line forward properly. They could maybe get a few more deep wards, but that's just, you know, a minor thing. Their vision control is pretty good so far. And so with this kind of vision control, while your vision control is just kind of being choked out, you know, they are kind of trying to recoup some wards, but it's just not enough at this point. And I mean, there's just got to be some kind of tremendous misplay where you are making picks with the Sejuani and the Thresh with at least 2 carries there. You know, Kled, Ezreal, or Victor. 2 of them have to be there.
Oh, FTF noobs looking for Milo Cooter. The flash still gets stunned up, and Carl fleeing the battle. Kled is on his own to defend his turf. Milo Cooter successfully running away, but in the bottom lane, British Blaze is having a tough time. Never mind, he's clearing these waves very easily. He does have Fear Beyond Death available to cast. Now you see Fun Run walking up for the 2v1 situation, and now Decode Talker turning the odds in his favor. The ultimate comes out, and Decode Talker takes another kill for his team.
Yeah.
This is just stomp at this point. Good night.
I mean, there isn't really anything to say other than that. It's basically just good night. 504 Warwick. Decode Talker can just run down anybody he'd like to, and he itemized defensively too. So if you're the stop from the Kled Q.
I did not see that. You see, I'm just missing getting engaged on though. Oh, the Fear Beyond Death! British Blaze chopping him down, looking for more, getting a buffer, stopping from IML Paris, getting a double kill on Urgot.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just too many Fed members. How do you manage this? IML Farias did not use summoners there though, so I mean, at this point, he might just be feeling a bit let down. This game is just so one-sided.
Yeah, this is definitely feels bad on the side of Team Sentinel. It's never fun to play a
It's
game
just a
when you're
slow
down
bleed.
so
I mean,
much.
There really is no coming back. There's, I'd say, a 0.1% chance of a victory here, where if someone decides to just run it down or the entire team DCs, then they can win the game.
You know, I think you're being really, really generous with that percentage right there.
Oh, I mean, they could. The only way they could ever win this is if they can make some picks on somebody, or one of those two meme things actually happens. But it is
But
a
you
very
have to
tough situation
wonder,
to be in.
would that even be enough? I mean, you're down 10,000 gold at 17 minutes. It's not looking too good for Team Bramblebacks right now.
Yeah, if Bramblebacks wins this, I'm retiring.
Uninstalling League of Legends. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You know, I will. If Bramble wins this, I will literally level an account from fresh, and then get to Diamond playing only Soraka top lane. That is, I will 100% do that if they win this game.
Monka S. I'd give the person with the most kills an epic skin. How about that? Now that we've got our ultimatum down. You see Team Brambleback expanding on their lead, getting a dragon. Milo Cooter, Niter Shadow, gonna be duking it out in a 1v1 situation. Buster shot coming through, Scarl leaving the battle, and now the Q coming through. Damage is there, but Milo Cooter just cannot get himself in a good spot, but I'm just Misty trying to even the odds. The Glacial Prison coming through, evening the odds. The challenging smite heal is not gonna be enough. I'm just Misty getting a kill, and now Fun Run on the run, getting taken out by Virus. Decode Talker and friends just need to stay around. It doesn't matter if their primary source of DPS is dead. They don't even need Tristana anymore. You got a 6-0 Urgot, baby. Fear Beyond Death cast did connect, looking for the execute, but the damage needs to be cast there as well. Milo Cooter looking for Kled, still can't find him, and now Virus very far forward. The Rift Herald is being spawned in by Decode Talker. And now the tower is going to be falling very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, Wire is looking for the death sentence, but does not find it. And Team Sentinel are going to be taking the tier 2 top tower with the Rift Herald. Looking for more. No, they're deciding to back off, leaving Team Brambleback the gift of the Trojan Rift Herald, letting them take it.
Yeah, and so they did get a second kill. The gap is closing. This is like the Korea versus NA gap, where it's like, the gap is closing, guys. Every year it's a little bit closer. We got a second kill.
Oh, feels bad, man, not being born in South Korea. True shot barrage. Getting cast. Now the ultimate from Amicon deleting Fun Run. And that seems to be what's going to be the game-changing, the game right there. You have a 5v4 situation. 13,000 gold lead in 20 minutes. One Nexus or one inhibitor tower gets taken. The inhibitor shortly after the rotation to the bottom lane because of that tower and because of that minion wave is so massive. They're not even waiting. Niter Shadow's tanking the turret. He rocket jumps out, and now the damage is there. The turret is going to be falling, and now it seems like a fight is going to break out shortly. FTF Noobs going in, getting the knockup, getting the flashback. Now Wire is actually flashing back himself. The damage onto the inhibitor is definitely there. It gets taken out. I'm just Missy on the backside with Glacial Prison ready to cast. Not looking for anything yet. Amicon leading the charge back. Going to be, oh, the charge! Speaking of, charge coming in from Milo Cooter, FTF Noob tanking it. Now the damage, Milo Cooter, Scarl leaving him, gets taken out. And now I'm just Missy is in a very sketchy spot. Does not have the health to be tanking anymore, but needs to be in front of his carries. But simply cannot be. FTF Noobs and Niter Shadow running around on the backside, looking for more. The flash forward for FTF Noobs, not connecting. I'm just Missy in a bad spot. Ryrus watching his back, and now the command shockwave coming through. Amicon getting a kill onto Fun Run, but it seems like Niter Shadow's going deep. He got the buster shot. I'm just Missy getting taken down. Wire's getting taken down as well. 5 members of Team Sentinel are alive. Teleport coming through from British Place, and only Alfarius and Milo Cooter coming in. The Hex Splash cast by FTF Noobs. Now the turrets are going to be under siege. You have them breaking down the turrets, doing their best to get the damage down. and then it's just a bloodbath. Everybody's trying to defend, trying to take it. Eventually, the second turret will fall, and then shortly after will be the next.
Yeah, very, very one-sided game, even more so than the last game, but Bramble just having a really tough time, and Sentinel playing so well, just taking that complete dominance in the top side of the map, bringing it to the bot side, and taking the win.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels terrible when a game ends at 22 minutes because of such a stomp. Sentinel getting all the glory, all the gold, and Team Brambleback with 3 kills and no towers, no objectives secured. It's a dark day for Red Side.
Yeah, blue side advantage, guys. I mean, you saw it here first, folks.
Yeah, that must be it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be doing it for the EU West Rise of the Summoner event that we have every off season here at Learning Fives. So if you'd like to learn more about Learning Fives, we have some program information down below. We have the YouTube channel where the VODs are always going to be posted. You have the Twitter page, the Facebook, where you can stay up to date on everything, all the events in Learning Fives. You have the Discord, which is the lifeblood, the blood and the bread better. You get the analogy. It's everything that you are going to get from this program. So if you haven't already, make sure you join the Discord. And if you like what we do with Learning Fives and you think, oh man, that sounds great, but I don't play League of Legends, I play Heroes of the or Heroes of the Storm. Well, boy, do we have the program for you. Learning Fives has launched a Heroes of the Storm Discord that you can find down below and join a very similar program. It's literally the same program, but with Heroes of the Storm as opposed to League of Legends. But that is going to be doing it for us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you come out tomorrow where we're going to be doing the same thing, but for North America. Rise of the Summoners, it'll be at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So that's going to be super fun. And make sure you come out for that. And do you have any closing thoughts, Meow and Cat?
Hopefully we get some red side wins tomorrow and some games longer than 24 minutes.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming out. And oh, you can find me at Twitter at SirPotatoIX and Meowing Cat here at
Meowing Cat.
Yeah. So thanks so much for coming out, and make sure to tune in tomorrow.